Alright, what's up guys, it's Theomars here with another video, and today's video is going to be the top 5 farmable nukers for Giants B10. So these monsters will really be able to use anywhere in your progression in Giants B10 as long as you're using at least one nuker. So if you're using one nuker in Giants B10, these guys are good. 2 nukers, 3 nukers, or even 4 nukers in Giants B10. These guys should work. So before I get in this video, I want to say this is my opinion, and I'm interested to hear what your guys' opinion on this topic is down in the comments. Let us know who you guys think are the best farmable nukers for Giants B10. So by farmable, of course, I mean any monster that you can get without opening a scroll or anything, but also I just consider Nat 3s as farmable because most people will eventually get the Nat 3s as long as they're not LD Nat 3s. So any farmable Nat 4s and Nat 5s, and then Nat 3s that are either water, fire, or wind are all counting as fair game for this video. So let's go ahead and get into this list, guys. So the first honorable mention will be going to Yaku, the water imp champ. His first skill will just do a dot, and then it'll give him an attack buff if he gets a crit. His second skill does damage proportionate to the target's max HP and does a dot if you do a crit. So this is great for taking down the boss in Giants B10 as well as the mini boss. He does a ton of damage to those, and that's why he's really good, honestly. His third skill also does good damage, charges towards the enemy 5 times, ignores defense with a 25% chance. So he just hits really hard basically. He has damage proportionate to the enemy's max HP as well as ignore defense. So that's basically why he's getting an honorable mention. The second honorable mention is going to go to Theomars, the water Ifrit. Now, a lot of people use Theomars in Giants B10, and I do know that, but the reason he's not higher on this list is because, in my opinion, he's not all that special in Giants B10. He is good, of course. He hits pretty hard, but the reason so many people use him in Giants B10 is because a lot of people would just put their best runes on Theomars, and since they have such good runes on Theomars, that just makes him good, and they use him in Giants B10 because he has great runes. So that's why I think a lot of people end up using Theomars, and he is good, but there are better options. But anyways, first skill does a dot, second skill defense breaks, and his passive makes it so he always has element advantage, as well as he will get immune to death for 1 turn, and that is reusable every 10 turns. So Theomars basically is just a good nuker for Giants B10. He hits hard, he does defense break and dot, both good skills for Giants B10, and then a lot of people have their best runes on him anyways, because he's good most places in this game, so you can just stick him in Giants B10 and he'll do fine, and that's basically why he's getting the other honorable mention. Alright, so 5th place is going to go to Ardella, the wind magical archer. Her first skill is attacks and does various debuffs based on the attribute of the enemy, basically. And then the damage will be increased by 15% for each harmful effect on the enemy. So that's good, because with a lot of debuffs, like on the boss, that can hit pretty hard. Second skill just does damage based on her speed and her passive. Her crit rate is increased by 25%, and her crit damage increases accordingly to how much HP you've lost. So if she can tank 1 hit from the giant and be kind of low on HP but not dead, her passive will allow her to hit so hard. Since she gets element advantage, plus she has 25 crit rate on her passive, you really don't even need that much crit rate, so you can focus way more on attack and crit damage. And that's very good, especially for Nat 3. She's a great Giants B10 nuker, and basically that's why she's coming in at 5th in this list. 4th place is going to go to Susano, the water ninja. Susano has pretty good multipliers, and Susano can hit pretty hard, and that's mainly why he's on this list. But his first skill will do a dot and damage according to his speed. His second skill will reduce attack bar, again damage according to his speed. So damage according to speed is always pretty good because you can build him with a lot of speed, and that'll make him hit even harder. So he gets more turns and he hits harder, so it's kind of just a win-win. Plus he has this 30% speed for water, which can be useful. I don't know if you'll use that lead on your Giants B10 team. Probably you'll use an attack lead or something like that. But you can always use that, and that'll make him hit harder. His passive just makes it so he won't get crit as much, and it also increases resistance, which is nice, of course. He won't get defense broken in the boss stage as much, and then they won't crit him as much. So that's nice. Really, these skills can just hit pretty hard. They have good multipliers. Let's put some attack runes, some speed runes, crit rate, crit damage, and he'll be hitting pretty hard in Giants B10. That's why Susano is coming in at 4th place. So coming in at 3rd place is Amir, or commonly referred to as Amir. Amir's first skill will attack and do a dot, damage increasing to speed. Amir's second skill will attack all enemies and stun them, damage proportionate to my max HP. And Amir's third skill, attack enemies, damage increasing by 30% for each harmful effect on the enemy. So again, especially paired with Ardella, if you can build a team that does a lot of debuffs, they can end up hitting really hard. He has 2 AoEs, so he's good for taking down the first stages. He can hit hard. It's kind of annoying how his first skill bases off speed and second off max HP. But I would just ignore the whole max HP thing. I'd focus more just on his attack, crit rate, crit damage, and then speed after that. I wouldn't worry too much about the HP. I mean, more HP is of course good, but I'd focus more on the attack. But anyways, double AoE and just hard hitting ability is always good in Giants B10, especially for nukers. So that's why Amir is coming in at 3rd place. Coming in at second place is going to be Tarq, the Water Hellhound, who is actually a Nat 2, but very, very good in both Giants B10 and Dragons B10 speed teams. His first skill just attacks and recovers 30% of the inflicted damage as HP. His second attacks the enemy and increases his attack speed. The damage will increase according to your attack speed. His third skill basically just attacks with 2 fellow allies, so all 3 of them will attack the same guy, which is of course really good, especially if you're using 4 nukers in Giants B10. It'll most likely take some nukers with him, and then that of course will hit really hard. So Tarq is just a great monster for speed team, guys. You'll see him all over Dragons B10 speed teams and Giants B10 speed teams. His third skill is great because if all your nukers attack, that'll do so much damage to either the boss or any of the other monsters in the fodder stages. His first and second skill can also hit pretty hard, so he's just a really, really good monster. Good base speed. I wouldn't recommend using him as much if you're using like a 1 nuker Giants B10 team. I wouldn't really recommend Tarq as much. He's more for the later games that are using 4 nukers in their Giants B10 team or whatever. That's when I would recommend using Tarq. So that is why Tarq's coming in at second place. So first place is going to go to Sigmarus, the Water Phoenix. Sigmarus is a monster that everyone who hasn't built one should build. I think he's kind of a must build in this game, really. He's so good in your first Giants B10 speed teams and even some of your end Giants B10 speed teams. He really takes you from early game into mid game, and then he can take you from mid game into end game. He's great for progression in this game. I think everyone should really build him. You can use him in a lot of areas in the game. Dungeons, you can use him in PvP, whatever. He's great. So his first skill will just stun. His second skill will attack and freeze if you crit. And his third skill will attack all enemies doing damage based on their max HP, and it puts an attack break for 2 turns. So basically, Sigmarus just hits really hard. All 3 of his skills hit really hard. His third skill takes down the boss so fast because it does damage based on their max HP. He has stuns and freezes. He has a HP leader by 44% in dungeons, so if you need to use that to help stay alive, it's great. It's a lot of HP. The only thing I don't like about him is his base speed is pretty low. But other than that, he's just a great monster, and that's basically why I think he is the best farmable GB10 nuker in Summoners War. So anyways, guys, I think that's going to wrap up this video. If you have a different list, go ahead and leave that in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.